3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? This is the Undefeated by Choice podcast brought to you by Steelfist. I am here with my good friend and this momentous occasion, my first time ever repeat guest, Eric Iman. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you, Matt?
I'm ecstatic. I've never had a repeat guest before, and I wanted it to be special for my first time, and I brought along my good friend, Eric.
Well, I'm super glad I could pop your cherry with this.
Do you want to use another term?
Maybe.
Since we're so close now, I don't know if you should be able to say that. A lot has changed in our friendship since that first meeting.
Yeah, a lot. Well, and I think that you have brought the change along.
You think it was all me?
I do, because so the last time I was here, we talked about getting Eric Munoz and a couple of the guys in to work at our gym and get involved with our team. And since then, it's happened, and I think it's just been a really good fit and match for all of us.
I can't agree more. First of all, we loved the atmosphere. Like I said, Eric was bouncing around from gym to gym.
Yeah.
And Dom Solis, we were just talking about Dom Solis, that's why his name. Dom Jarrow, he was just doing the Foley thing when we'd be going there and just showing up to spar. And then we brought Rob in, and then it's been a good move for everybody, for the entire group. And I love it because, coming in and having this mindset of I'm just a training partner, I love going in there and seeing the coaching that we got going on with Coach Al and Fabio, and even you, taking over some of the classes every once in a while. It's been good for the entire group, and I think everyone is taking that step to the next level. So it's worked out.
Well, a high tide rises all ships, so we're all going up together. It's been good for me too, having some additional training partners and things like that, and having maybe a different take or a different perspective on it with some different people. I just think has helped us all.
Yeah, I was glad to see you didn't have the only child syndrome. When you've been raised for so long as the only child, and then all of a sudden your parents have a new kid. Your parents got a whole batch of new kids, and you haven't been you haven't been jealous of all of us coming in. That
gym is part of my lifeline and has been for so long. I went to a belt ceremony last night, and I saw Tim Leffert get his black belt, and I was talking to him afterwards, and I said, 10 years I've been training with Fabio, and we've been at the gym together, and you're the third black belt I've seen out of here. So, in that amount of time, when you think about it, think of all the people that have come and gone, and the injuries and the blood, sweat, and tears that have gone into it, and it's a huge commitment.
Yeah.
So it's, I'm not as involved in the jiu-jitsu side of it. We just talked about that too.
You don't do jiu-jitsu?
I am not putting my gi on and grappling. No, I'm not doing that. At least not yet. I think, when this roller coaster ends, I think that would give me something to work towards and compete at after. And something to look forward to, help keep me in shape, and just keep me going. But we've got such an active stable of guys now. Me and Samantha were talking about it on our way over here. I was like, well, I got a break between the last fight and this fight. And she said, when? She said, as soon as you were done, you were helping Eric get ready, and you were helping Dom get ready. And, but I don't think, and the good thing is Samantha and our kids and everything are in the gym together too. Mm-hmm. And it makes it, way more bearable when I'm at the gym for 2 hours every night, versus
when it's a family
if they were doing something on their own and I was at the gym, then it'd be a lot more hard to wrap your head around, I think.
Yeah, because I take my daughter there, and that's another thing I love about this gym is that it's pretty family friendly.
Absolutely.
And I'll take my daughter there, but I have a hard time taking her there because I just don't think she believes in me. She's just always telling me to be careful. She just yells, "Be careful, Dad! Be careful! Be careful, Dad!" And I understand when I'm in there sparring with you why she's saying that, but she'll say that against anybody, and I'm like, "Come on, baby, tell them to be careful."
Yeah, I the last time she was at the gym, I kept hearing her say it, and I'm like, he's being as careful as he can because I'm gonna hit him in the face.
Baby, I'm gonna get hit, and it's gonna be hard. I've come to the realization that heavyweights just hit different. It's just a different altogether, because I keep thinking, like, I used to walk around at 280 pounds. Like, I was a big boy, and just there's been a couple times that you've caught me, and it quickly sends like this numb tingle down the left side of my body. And you don't do it a lot because, like as I mentioned the last time we talked, you're always careful. You're not careless. You understand the power that you have. You understand what you're capable of doing. And so it's never you're hitting me hard, but every once in a while you'll catch me with something and it will quickly send that tingle, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm dealing with something completely different.
Well, and I there's definitely a timing component to it. If the timing's right and your feet are out of position, or you're moving one direction and I'm moving, against that direction, I throw a punch, it happens. I mean, it's happened to me. I've taken shots by, you've hit me and I'm like, God damn. Why did I eat that? But I mean, that's what makes us all get better. And I think it's very, our gym, I hear about egos and things like that, and how a lot of people try to keep people's egos in check, and I don't think we have to do that. I don't think there's one person at that gym that feels like they're dominant or better than anybody, and I think that makes it a much better training environment for everybody.
For sure. We even had, because before, when we got there, I mean, it was you, pretty much, when I walked in, the two active fighters were you and Sasha.
Right.
And, when she, then all of a sudden, Brittany came in, and there was none of that only child syndrome where she's like, well, I'm the girl here. I'm the female fighter here at this gym. Like, again, it was open arms, welcoming, and I've loved it. It's been a great fit, and we always have fun, but there's also a serious mindset to it. I've also been in the gyms where it's just goofing around the whole time.
Yeah, and for me, with my schedule and things like that, I have to go in and get started. Mm-hmm. I can't, I mean, I've said something, especially to some of the girls that have trained there. I'm like, look, you guys can talk when you're done.
Yeah.
Now's work time. Talk when you're done. You know? And you guys, when you came in, Dom and Munoz and Rob, they've definally embraced the fact that they walk in, they get ready, we get to work.
Yeah.
And then when we're done, we can have our chit chat and whatever. And we just talk about training, what we did good and what we did bad. But it's a good camaraderie without a lot of fluffy kind of, I'm going to talk to you for 10 minutes about my day.
Yeah.
No, we jump in and we get after it.
There's not a whole lot of that. I've done a few like after gym, like car moments where I'm like, okay, we've been talking forever, I'm ready to get out of here. But most of the time, especially like with you, with your schedule, usually you're out early, and then I usually, when you're in camp, I try to get there early so I can work with you, and then I want to get back home, get to my little girl. Like, with Dom's training in his camps, I'm trying to stay later because I want to be with him. him. I'm trying to go with whoever has the fight coming is who I'm trying to train with.
That's the truth of it is, I told somebody the other day, I was like, I feel like a racehorse, like all this is set up around me right now, but as soon as I'm done, then we've got some other guys getting ready and we have to concentrate on them. Fabio's fighting in February, Munoz fighting in February, Sasha's fighting in February. I mean, it's, Dom's fighting. It's very busy, but it's good too, because I think that it's, we're all rowing on the same ship in the same direction. Yeah. So, and I'm done at the gym about 6:30, but Dom can't get there till later, so I stay when he needs help. Coach Alex takes a lot of the coaching.
That guy. I don't know how he does it. I mean, he's driving quite a distance to come out there, and then still stays the whole time. And if anybody, I remember him had left, and someone got on the group and was like, "Hey, I'm heading to the gym." He's okay. I'll turn around. He went right back.
Yeah.
So
he's amazing, and he's been a big help in my development. I think that we're starting to see the best of me because of some of the changes that he's made. And now we got Mickey Porritt back in the gym too. Mickey was my first Muay Thai coach, and he's been a really good addition. Him and I feel like him and Coach Alex are talking about different ways to torture me every day.
But Mickey I only met him this last week. That guy is nonstop. I mean, he is fast-paced. He's just go, and he does not let you rest. I was like, whoa.
There's no break, no stop. It's like running yourself into the ground sometimes. But, there's also points in the fight where you have to know what that feels like. Because there's no other way I would rather feel it now than feel it then.
And I think it's perfect timing. I mean, and I do want to get into this, is your last fight and then this fight coming up. The last guy just came guns blazing, punches in a flurry. This guy, Zach Cavender, who you're fighting coming up January 4th, he's a very young, fast, athletic kid. I think that is probably going to be part of his game plan as well, to come fast, throw lots of punches, use his speed.
I think he's definitely going to use his speed. I don't think that he's going to come directly at me. I think he'll probably try to stay outside because he's long. He's tall. So I think that he's going to try to stay outside a little bit and pick his shots a little bit. He's got some pretty decent kicks, and he uses them. And I think that he's going to try to play the long game with me too. Just from what I've seen, it doesn't look like he wrestles much. Like, he doesn't initiate takedowns. So it's hard to say, I guess, because he's coming up in weight and he's never fought anybody as big as me. Because I might be the biggest actively fighting in Utah right now.
For sure.
So he's almost as tall as me, but he's, I'm right at 260. I'm walking around at 260 right now. So.
Are you that big? Because it's pretty obvious. You have leaned out, and you're looking like a monster right now. And I wanted to ask you, what did you change in your diet? Because even from your last fight for Steelfist to now, there's a drastic difference. Just in how lean you've gotten.
Well. Samantha is going to compete next year. She wants to do a figure competition. So I got her with a friend of mine, Jason Laporte, and he wrote out a diet and training program for her.
Okay.
I realized that while I've always ate, well, not always, but especially over the last year or two, I've always been really low carb. I was doing it in a very lazy manner. So I was eating low carb, but I wasn't like being precise on what I was eating. So this last 3 weeks, I followed her lead. She's been really dedicated to making sure that she's sticking to the diet. And so she started weighing her food. I started weighing my food, and sometimes it becomes, you're like,
I know.
8 ounces of chicken, this is bullshit. But I mean, the truth of the matter is you don't know what you don't know. So, if you're eating instinctually, I can eat instinctually and stay fairly lean now after all these years of doing this. But if I'm really gonna get to where I think I want to be, I had to step it up. Rob, too. I mean, when I was talking to Rob about his diet, I was like, God, that dude's on a different wavelength of what he's doing versus what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So, when I was talking to Rob at his fight and we were talking about his weight cut and just kind of trying to plan for it, he'd already had it done.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have to. Usually I'm like, look, this is how you're going to cut weight.
Yeah, I remember you with Dom.
Yeah.
You were down,
when I was
eating this many
Dom,
calories today.
And then when I talked to Rob's telling me what he's going to do, and I'm like, yeah, you're you're right, do that, and he barely had to cut any water and walked up and made weight, so I think just trying to be precise. I'm still working out twice a day, almost every day. I lift and run in the morning, and then we fight train at night. I've also been doing 6 days a week, where before I fought Tony Darling, I was doing 5. I would still go and run and lift on the weekends a little bit, but as far as the fight training, I was only doing my fight training 5 days a week.
Yeah.
But this will be my 5th fight in less than 12 months. So I put all this work into getting this belt.
Yeah.
So I can't leave a stone unturned.
I agree.
And, we talking about it coming over here. I went to the gym this morning and I was like, I wasn't even going to bring up a Saturday session. I was so beat down. I was so tired last night when I left. But I went, I got training in. We worked on some things that are real crucial, I think, to being able to change position and things like that. Specifically some groundwork that if I didn't go today, I might not have known. It might not have come up again. So, there's no substitution for gym time. But, as far as me being lean, I intermittent fast. It seems complicated to talk about, but it's such my routine now.
Yeah.
It's just normal. I eat my first meal at between 12 and 1. It's all weighed out for me now. I eat what's there. I usually have a snack before the gym. Thank you, Quest bars.
You want to get a sponsorship?
I need a Quest sponsorship. We eat a lot of Quest stuff. So I usually have a snack around 3, and then I go to the gym at 5, and then I eat dinner after that. But it's all like we've got it now to where it's all weighed out, it's mapped out, it's very precise, and I've never lost weight like this.
Yeah.
I mean, when I started, I was 269, and when I fought Darling, I was 256. So I put some weight on in between, not crazy, but I went from 269 all the way back down to 257 in a week.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I want to die.
Yeah.
So.
Well, when you said that you were you're at 260. I was because I just noticed you're so much leaner than you had been. I thought you were going to be underweight. I thought you'd be walking around at 255 or something like that.
Well, this morning after training, I was 256.
Okay, so
pretty close.
Yeah.
But I mean, Monday I was 269. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I definitely think we've upped the training as a group. I think we've upped the training intensity a little bit, which that always helps.
Yeah, I recently just changed my diet as well, so I'm expecting to be down, but I'm thinking maybe 170, maybe 155. We'll see how this weight cut's going.
Coach really wants to get you back. Coach wants you to go back.
I know. I hear a lot. I hear it. I hear the talks, and I'm thinking about it. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I do want to talk about that fight against Darling because I always thought, as far as the heavyweights, especially here in Utah, the guys who fight for Steelfist, you're at the top of the heap. But this fight specifically after Darling, I feel like that one put you on the map just because the dramatics behind it, the stage that you were on, just how the fight went down. I mean, you got on some YouTube video of the knockouts of the year or something like that.
Yeah, I got so leading up to that fight, we knew Darling was going to be aggressive. We watched a couple of fights that were online of him, and he has an aggressive style. He wants to go forward. We also knew that he'd had some wrestling, so we'd really drilled down some takedown defense and some things like that. But I talked to him after the fight, so he came out very aggressive, came right at me. We exchanged a little bit. And then we got tied up against the fence. And when I was defending the takedown, I think that took him out of his game. He was like, I didn't expect your takedown defense to be that solid. So when I was hitting him going back on the other side, when I was putting together some offense and I was driving him backwards, when he hit the fence, he came back with a right hand that rung my bell pretty good. And instead of me being my normal me, I used some footwork, I backed up, and I circled a little bit to regain some composure. Instead of running at him head first and trying to knock him out in some kind of retaliation that never seems to work for me.
Does it work for anybody?
I don't know.
I see it a lot.
We had a long talk about that at the gym this morning. I have never lost a fight that I don't feel like I was winning. And I can remember in every one of those fights, the moment that I thought, this is it, I put him down. Yeah. And then it changes. And heavyweights, that tide changes fast.
Yeah, real quick.
But
in this fight in particular.
Right. Yeah. Because, he'd rung my bell. I didn't feel like I was going down or anything, but I definitely knew if I took 3 or 4 more that way, that fight could have been stopped. Yeah. So, I backed up, circled a little bit. He came back, charged at me again, and he caught me, but I felt like it looks like I was wobbling on the camera, but I don't even remember that punch being something that I was like, oh shit. Yeah. I think my feet were out of position. I was a little too sideways, and he caught me right on the ear, just perfect shot. Yeah. And I stumbled back a little bit, hit the cage again, and then he backed up. And I felt, I even remember thinking, get to work. Yeah. It's time to get to work. So when I'd come forward, he charged at me, and I hit him with that left hook. Yeah. And I had a bunch of people, that left hook was so fast. That left hook was so fast. Coach Alex made me throw that left hook 5,000 times in 2 weeks. Yeah. He was like, you will catch him with this. And it was on the pads. It was in sparring. It was like nonstop. I was like, can I throw a cross? You throw that left hook until it's perfect. And it worked out. And then, immediately, I think before I got out of the cage, they'd posted it online. Yeah. And they made a pretty big deal about age difference and some things like that. Oh, yeah,
the old man.
He was 26, and old man rules. And I'm like, I don't feel like I'm that old. But, and then somebody made a highlight video out of it, top knockouts of 2019, and I had somebody send it to me the other day. They'd come across it, and when I checked, it had like 2.5 million views. Yeah. And I'm the thumbnail for the click. It's me standing there, and I'm like, it's weird. Yeah. It's weird to see myself like, I don't know.
On a video that's got 2 million views on it?
Yeah, well, I mean, just, I'm on this computer, and that's me, but is that really me?
Well, the fashion in which it happened, it was so dramatic. I was in New Orleans for that trip, or for that fight, and I was trying to watch it.
Yeah, can you make it to this one?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I leave for New Orleans the next week.
Perfect.
I'm
glad we got your travel schedule.
I planned it better this time because, I work for Steelfist. I'm going to be at the fight.
Sammy really thinks we should tag along to New Orleans.
You're welcome to come. I told you guys I'm going, and you guys said, all right, cool. And when I say I'm going, like, I'm going. Like, I booked my everything's booked. You're welcome to come. I want you to come.
We'll talk about it after this. I don't want you stalkers out, 2 million or YouTubers looking for me in New Orleans.
Come to find them in New Orleans. They'll get hurt, man. They'll get hurt if they try to do anything stupid. We'll have a good group there with me and you. But yes, I was in New Orleans and I was trying to watch it because the other company that you were fighting for said that it was going to be on this channel.
They will remain nameless.
It wasn't. I couldn't find it anywhere. So I'm sitting at the bar, and then I get a text message. I was moping. I was drinking my sorrows away because I couldn't watch you fight. I was moping, and I get a text message from a kid that I went to high school with, that I briefly worked for after high school, that I hadn't talked to in years and years and years. And I get this text message: "Your boy Iman just knocked this dude out." And I was like, "What?" And then he broke down the whole fight for me, and I was like, "Oh." So I mean, it was like I don't know how he made the connection. I guess I'd posted a couple pictures of us training together, but I didn't know for whatever reason, he was at the fights, he saw it and was so excited. He messaged me to let me know.
So the picture on my Facebook page is what is it? The background picture, whatever, is at that knockout, somebody took a picture of everybody jumping up in the air.
Yeah.
And it's humbling in a lot of ways, because I think that, I hope that the people around me know that I take this very seriously. I don't take it lightly, but on the flip side, it's them buying tickets is the only reason at 41 I can still do it. Yeah. Otherwise, who'd want?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a good fighter. I'm solid. I'm strong. I've got a bunch of highlight reel knockouts and stuff like that. I mean, I've got a few of them, but seeing the appreciation, the excitement, it really kind of puts it in perspective for me, I think.
Yeah.
And it makes me remember that I've got my training partners, my family. Samantha's there doing my goddamn laundry every day that I generate a ridiculous amount of laundry.
I know.
And I've got a really good group of people that support me, because I might get in there by myself, but it takes a team to get me there. So
yeah, I've thought that quite a bit. So many people talk about how this is an individual sport, and I'm like, it's not.
Well, I had a guy that grew up playing baseball, and he coached baseball fairly competitively, and he said, "Well, you don't understand how this works because you're in an individual sport." And I said, well, there's easily 10 guys all the time that are helping me get to my best. Yeah. I don't do it by myself. I can't coach myself.
Yeah. And even when you're in there, you still have your coaches there, a part of what if you're a good fighter, you're listening to your coaches, because you have multiple eyes now. If you're going in there thinking I'm in here by myself and you're not listening, you're just trying to go off instinct or whatever, that's not the smartest way to do it. And so I've never thought it was an individual sport. I've never trained like it was an individual sport. I've always taken in the mindset of, I'm here to make them better, they're here to make me better, we're a team, we're in this together, and if I look like an all-star on fight night, it's because of everybody who was there, everybody who's been there.
I mean, we all take our lumps, we're in training, and even if it's not, the training isn't geared specifically to us, we're still taking the lumps in there with them 100% of the time.
Yeah. And you mentioned why you're doing this, and you're in there for the fans and the people who buy the tickets. And the last time you were here was before you ended up fighting Andy Witt. It was another opponent at that time that had dropped out, but then
I don't even remember that guy's name.
I don't remember his name either. I tried to.
Thank you, Andy Witt. You're a tough guy.
Yeah, Andy jumps in. Love Andy to death. And Andy jumps in, and but we were here talking, and you kind of sounded at that time like you were starting to wrap things up in your career. And
I keep telling Samantha I got 2 left.
And it has not seemed like that in these after that fight, and then you went on to the Darling fight, and then this fight pops up, and for the heavyweight championship, which in my opinion is the heavyweight championship in Utah is it's only through Steelfist.
I agree.
It's only
this is like fighting for the state championship. 100%.
Yeah, and so this is, and it's like
I'll even go so far as to say the other organization that will not be named, this belt means more to me than if I were to win their belt. Steelfist has been very good to me. Kevin's always reached out to me, even after a loss, and he's like, hey, do you want to get back in?
Yeah.
Just tell me how to help you.
Yeah.
So he's like, you want to fight again? I will find somebody.
Yeah.
Don't think that just because you're coming off a loss that you're dead to us.
Yeah.
And he's told me a bunch. He's like, I'm a fan of yours. I'd love to watch you fight.
Yeah.
I love the energy that the people, that come and watch you fight. He loves a good fight.
Yeah.
Whether it's me or somebody else, but he knows, I think that he knows that I definitely come in and try to put my best foot forward to the organization. I try to be classy.
Yeah.
I don't do a lot of shit talk, and it's just not my personality necessarily, because I know the moment I talk a bunch of shit is when I'm going to eat crow.
I feel the same way. Like, I'm the one that I'd be like, oh, I said all this, I said that, I said this, that's why I lost. That would be my mentality.
Mine too.
Yeah. And so always be respectful. But I know when this match was set up, it was because Kevin is such a fan of yours, and so when he posted on Facebook who should fight for the heavyweight title, and I believe I was the very first one to say Eric Iman.
I agree. I think you were.
I believe I was the first, but that may have been lost in the sea of people who then came out and said Iman. And there are a few other names thrown out there, and then Cavender's name got thrown out there. And I remember the very first time I saw Cavender fight, I was sitting next to Kevin, and his opponent, I don't want to piss Zach off, but I didn't know who he was at the time, and I said, oh, I like his opponent. And Kevin leans over to me and says, have you ever seen Zach fight? And I said, no. And he's like, he's never been in a boring fight. He's always comes and puts on a good show. So when someone had thrown his name out there, I knew right away for Kevin, he's like, this is a fight that was excited him. This is a fight that he was like, oh, that's a no-brainer, because we have a fighter than you that he likes, respects, wants to see do well, wants to see succeed, and then he has Zach, who's never been in a boring fight. This is one of those fan favorite fights.
I think that the fact that Kevin is giving Zach a run at a title fight shows that Kevin respects and likes what he does.
Yeah.
He knows that he's not one of those guys, he's not going to be one of you weight missers. How about that? He's going to come in, he's going to be professional, he's going to put the work in, it's going to be a fight.
Yeah.
And he's coming up from 205, but I have no illusion that he's not in the gym twice a day trying to think about ways to put me in a bad situation.
Yeah.
And I respect that. And he had messaged on that thread. He said, "Hey, it sounds like the fight's a go. Have a good training camp." So I appreciate that too.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to hate Zach Cavender to fight him.
No.
We're gonna fight, and then afterwards, I hope we can have a beer.
Yeah.
And we can talk about win, lose, or draw, what happened, and I've never had ill will towards anybody I've fought.
Yeah.
So and I like that. I want to. It's a sport. We got little kids.
Yeah.
I want them to see this and say, this is how you behave.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't beat guys up in bars and shit after,
Yeah. And that's another reason, your mentality towards it is another reason that I felt like, I have connected or whatever, because that's the same reason why I've been with Munoz as long as I have. He's never had an issue outside of the cage with anybody that he's fought, anyone that he's going to fight, anyone who's called him out or anything. It's always nothing but respect, and we're going to do this. And I've seen a number of guys that he has fought come to our camp when he's got another fight coming up to train with him and help him get better. Win, lose, or draw, he's kept a relationship with everybody. And I felt the same with you, and I've seen how you've handled yourself and conducted yourself, which is why I feel like we've connected and why I enjoy being around you and coming to your camps, because it's not something I feel like, this is going to be a dramatic thing having to deal with this guy.
And I was out to dinner a month ago or something after the Darling fight, and I ran into Ben Moa, and I haven't seen him in a long time. And I talked to him a little bit, and we were talking, and he was the same way. He was like, "Hey, I was so excited. I was so excited to see that you did well, and that you won that way." And he said, "We all thought you were in trouble for a second, but," he said, "you got back to work and you did good." He's like, I'm really happy to see you're doing well." And I feel the same about him.
Yeah.
I don't have any personal animosity to any of these people. I want them to do well.
Yeah.
We're all chasing a dream.
Yeah.
Why is my dream more important than theirs?
Yeah.
Just I have to win. That's all it is.
I do want to ask you, because I've cornered with you twice now. I've seen you fight a number of times. And from the coaching and the fighting aspect, do you ever feel that you approach your mindset of how you want your fighter that you're coaching? How do I want to word this? I thought of this ahead of time, because I know for me it is different. So the way you coach and the way you want your fighter's mindset to be going into the fight, do you think that you want it to be the same as your mindset, or do you feel like what you're trying to do for them is different than what you do for yourself?
It's harder for me. It's easier for me to fight.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I have less nerves, and anybody that tells you they don't have nerves before they go into fights full of shit.
Right.
But I mean, you're worried about some unknown thing that you can't even put a finger on, but I mean, that's the reality of it.
Yeah.
So my thought process, if I'm cornering somebody, is, did we cover everything? Did I make sure that all the boxes were checked and we put in like real legitimate work on the things that they need to work on? Did I, and I've followed in Coach Alex's footsteps quite a bit with his footwork process and his hand speed and the things he does there. So if he's not in the gym, on the days he's not in the gym, I'm really trying to reinforce those things and make sure that, it's a priority for everybody. But, I just want to make sure that I've gotten them as prepared as they can be, not as prepared as I thought they should be.
Yeah.
And it's cornering people's nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
But, we've had a pretty good run, and, I've cornered Fabio a whole bunch of times, and I've only fought, the only time I've ever fought without Fabio in my corner is when I fought Andy Witt.
Yeah.
And that was because he was in Brazil for his first time in 10 years.
Yeah.
So, and I wouldn't do it if I couldn't do it with Fabio.
Yeah.
I wouldn't fight at all. I really believe that.
Yeah.
I trust him 100%. I know that out of a lot of gym owners that I've worked with, he is invested in my success for no other reason than for me to be successful. Yeah. It's not about the gym for him necessarily. It's about me being successful. Does it help the gym? Maybe. But at the end of the day, I mean, we all know fighters don't pay the rent, so he just legitimately wants me to do well, be my best. Yeah. He does, and I hope he feels that way about me too, because I don't know that I teach him a lot. I think there was a time working some specific Muay Thai stuff and stuff like that. I definitely think I helped him get sharper, but I mean, he's definitely a wealth of knowledge, and I don't even think I'd want to do it if I couldn't do it with him.
Yeah.
Same, and now that I'm that way with Coach Alex too.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it if I can't do it with him.
Yeah.
I believe in him. I know he's got my best interest at heart. He knows that I'm in there trying to do the things he's telling me to do and work on, and it builds it definitely builds a stronger bond. And I think Coach Alex is that way with everybody.
Oh, for sure.
He just is a very good person that wants people to do well.
Yeah, and again, another reason why I know we went with you guys, because our group before with Pat Reeves, that's the way Pat was. You took the day off, he would call you. Are you doing all right? Is everything okay? I remember when I told him, hey, I'm going to stop training for a while, because I had taken my first fight, and I was supposed to fight another fight, and I was like 2 weeks out from the fight, and the guy dropped out. It was a terrible situation, and for him and his family, so he dropped out, and I was just like, I was just overtraining. I was overworking. I was just exhausted. And I texted him and I was like, "Hey man, I'm just gonna stop for a while. I'm just taking it. I'm gonna take a break." And instead of being mad or anything, his message, he just texted me, well, "Are you okay? Mentally, are you okay?" And knowing that I had a coach that cared about me like that, he didn't know me very well. I'd only been training with him for 8-9 months at the time. And so when I say overtrained, it sounds like a baby thing, but I was doing like 7 days a week. I was there every single day. So and
there is a component that people
coming from brand new to 7 days a week, that seemed like a lot.
It is, it's a lot for me right now.
Yeah. So I was just, and so he was just like, "Are you okay? Is everything okay? Take the time that you need." And so like I said, we'd been bouncing around to other gyms, we'd been seeing other people, and we were just in these gyms where coaches just they didn't care about the fighters. They didn't, whatever. It was.
It's a meat factory.
Yeah, it was just, hey, we're trying to make the fighters pay the rent. You know what I mean? Like the opposite of, fighters don't pay the rent. This was like, no, we expect you to pay the rent. And so.
Well, and I guess I should probably clarify. Everybody puts their money towards the common goal, right? But out of the 5 guys actively fighting at the gym, we couldn't maintain the gym off of the dues that they pay.
And that's not. And that's not what Fabio.
That's not his business model.
Exactly.
It's not.
Yeah. So that's what I meant by it. Their model was like, well, come in and pay your money and come in. Fabio's like, come in, be a better fighter. That's his mentality. Is like, if you're gonna fight for me, if you're gonna fight under Team Link, you're gonna be here. You're gonna work out. You're gonna work your butt off, and I'm going to make you better. I'm going to care about you. You're carrying my name. And so that was, we walked in there, and it's been a family thing ever since. So, let's get back to,
let's get to
when we started this, I was talking about how our last one was 44 minutes, and we were both like, oh, that's not very long. And I was like, I don't have a lot of questions. We're now at 40 minutes.
Oh.
And so we will beat this time.
Hopefully more than like 8 people listen to the last one. So.
No, you got quite a few views. You got a lot of views. So don't put yourself down. People love you. People want to see what's up with you. And this is for the heavyweight title, baby.
Yeah, this is a big deal.
This is for the heavyweight title.
So when I started fighting again, I'd fought some amateur Muay Thai, and I had a bunch of years off, 3 or 4 years off, because I couldn't find a Muay Thai fight in Utah. And I started fighting again at 34, I think I was. I was like, my goal is to get the Steelfist title.
Yeah.
And I said, whatever happens, that's my goal. And then I can decide if I want to continue after that. Yeah. But I know that I am good enough. I know that I'm one of the better guys out there, and it's attainable. So here we are. We're going to try it again.
Yeah.
So I think that my last 2 title fights, I was in a different mindset as far as what had to happen. I think more than anything, my impatience beat me. Not necessarily my skill level or my toughness or anything else. It was just the fact that I was like a shark. I gotta keep swimming and attacking, and I just need to be smarter.
Yeah. And what in your mind are you training for? What are you focused on specifically for this training camp for a fighter like Zach?
So we are, Coach Alex makes sure my boxing's good. Yeah. Always, 100%. That's his focus. With Mickey coming back in, I'm working a lot more kicks, which, honestly, I hit pretty hard, but my kicks are different.
Yeah, and I've heard that so many times.
My kicks will change your view on the world.
and I've never seen it.
Well, and a lot of it's just because we haven't been focusing on it very much, and punches can make you tired.
Yeah.
Kicks make you exhausted twice as fast because just the
everything you have to put into it.
The more muscle recruitment you have to do and all that. So I don't think I haven't thrown very many kicks since I fought Moa, but I know for sure I beat that leg of Moa's up real bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm back to doing some more fundamentals with some kicking. We're integrating that back into Coach Alex's boxing style, and then working some wrestling and some things like that. So my feeling is he's going to try to stay outside. He's going to try to be rangy and pick his shots. I have to be prepared for that. I have to do a very similar plan. I just have to be smart about counters and things like that and watch for my openings. From what I've seen, it doesn't look like he initializes a lot of takedowns, but we still work it, every day. So I think I'll be. This should definitely be the best version of me.
Yeah. And obviously he's southpaw, so I mean that puts a lot of pressure on me.
Yeah, that's true. You're taking a lot of shots. You're getting a lot of rounds in.
I'm getting a lot of rounds because I'm the only true. Coach Al says true southpaw. I'm not even a true southpaw, but it's just what I've fought, and I've always fought. Southpaw.
Well, and word on the street, Cavender isn't either.
Yeah, I would, and I'd say that works in benefit for your training because. Guys like me and him that are not true southpaws that fight southpaw, we do have similar tendencies. So hopefully the beating that I take is worth something,
Well, and on the flip side of that, I don't switch.
Yeah.
So Cavender only has to worry about me standing orthodox, whereas with him, I've got to be prepared for both.
Yeah, he does switch quite a bit.
So, just that it adds that extra depth in that maybe I don't typically look at.
Yeah.
I know he's a tough kid. I know that he wants this as bad as I do.
Yeah. Knowing the patents and how they do matchmaking, they put a lot of consideration into it, and they don't just throw fights together. Right. This was one that when someone said, hey, Cavender and Iman, Kevin really thought, is this a good fight? And he would not have put it together if it was not going to be a tough fight.
Well, Kevin could have given me a can.
Yeah.
He could have, and he didn't.
Yeah. No.
He gave me a tough kid that's hungry.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's trying to make this a win for me by any means necessarily. He wants it to be competitive.
Yeah. Yeah. He has no, and that's, again, why I like working for these guys. I don't feel like there's a Steelfist guy.
No,
I don't feel like there's a guy that they're like, hey, we're going to give him better, easy fights or whatever. It's who accepts fights. And then can we put the best fights together? So I guess it's the other way around. Put the best fights together, and then will these two guys accept the fight?
I think that, they're trying to look at, they're having a rash of weight missing. Yeah. It's not on them.
Yeah.
You sign the contract,
Yeah.
It's not like it's a secret, you have to make weight.
Yeah.
If I had somebody come in and miss weight a bunch of times from our gym, I'd tell them, you're moving up.
Yeah.
If you can't make weight, you can't make weight.
Yeah.
You're moving up.
Yeah.
Would not let it wouldn't happen more than once.
Yeah.
I can tell you that. And it shouldn't happen once because there should be enough talk in the gym of, we know that your diet sucks and you're eating ice cream on the weekends and you're not going to make weight.
Yeah.
So what are we really doing here?
Yeah.
So I talked to Kevin. He's like, these guys. What do I do? And for him, he's got a point. Especially the amateurs, he can't even take money from them.
Yeah.
So I think the only thing he can really do is if it happens, he tells him your next one's you got to move up a weight class.
Yeah. And and I did talk to Cavender about him going up to heavyweight, and he just said, 205 is hard. He said 205 is hard for me to make. I fought at heavyweight before, and I don't want to be one of those guys that misses weight, and I don't want to put my body through that. And so he he made the decision, I'm going to go to heavyweight because I don't want to be one of those guys who misses weight or just struggles immensely to try to make weight.
And I respect that.
Yeah, he wanted to be one of those guys who shows up and fights. So if he's got to do it at heavyweight, he's got to do it at heavyweight.
I mean, at the beginning of my career, I was a fat ass. I had to cut weight.
Yeah.
But I made weight.
And making weight, especially for the organizations, so when a fighter, so we've had this rash of fighters that have died recently.
Sure.
In weight cut issues, not in the fight, but in weight cut issues. And Kevin and Pat look at that and see that a lot of times it falls on the organization. If as far as what the media's portrayal of it, so they would say UFC fighter dies. It wouldn't say Team Elite fighter dies.
Right. I can definitely see that, and I respect that. I mean, I understand. The onus isn't on the promotion.
Yeah.
The promotion says, what weight are you going to be at?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I mean, there's been catchweight fights and whatever. There's ways to make it right. If the fighter says they're going to be at 170, they better know they can make 170.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, if at 2 weeks out, they're still at 200 pounds, maybe we need to make a phone call because the other guy that's making weight is working his ass off to make weight.
Yeah.
And I think that's my issue with it is you agreed to it.
Yeah.
You signed it.
Yeah.
You knew what you were in for.
Yeah.
So if you can't make the weight, then tell them before you sign the contract, because you know if you can or can't.
You'll know a week out, unless you have no idea how the body works. Which a lot of people, I think a lot of times it's just lack of education.
Well, I think it comes down to the camp.
Yeah.
And some of these guys are fighting independent and stuff like that. I understand that. But, in that case, if it's going to be a trial thing, maybe we give him 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Look, this is this guy's first fight and he doesn't have a gym.
Yeah.
It's got to be 75.
I think we're going to start seeing a lot. I think even as far as the commission goes, we're going to see a lot of things change as far as weight divisions and weight cuts go. I know everybody loves this sport and they want to see this sport succeed. When people are dying in weight cuts, that's a problem.
Absolutely.
And that is a black eye on the organization. So I think,
especially in some of the bigger organizations, where does the coach say no?
Yeah.
No. You throw him back in the bath, he looks like beef jerky. He ain't going to make it.
Yeah.
It ain't happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think that we're going to see a change. There's going to be something. I don't know what the solution is. I don't know what the answer is. Hopefully people smarter than me are going to figure it out. But I know that there is a movement to try to fix this. But fighting heavyweight, man, you're lucky. You're lucky. Look, but then again, I know you got to cut. I know.
I typically walk around 65.
Yeah.
So I don't cut any water. I just make sure I'm not eating like shit on the weekends.
Yeah.
So
and that's.
But I am lucky because I don't. Although I'm being very strict right now.
Yeah.
When I'm not strict, I'm too. 267.
Well, for where you're at, what you're doing, the way you're eating is only going to make you a better athlete. I mean, you can just be a big guy. You can just be a big guy who eats crap, and it doesn't benefit you in any way. You're already a big guy, so when you add the component of the proper fuel inside your body, it's only going to make you that much better.
Well, and that's what it's geared to is definitely making sure that I'm going to run at my peak.
Yeah.
I take vitamin D every day. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. The little things can make a huge difference if we're talking in the span of a year.
Yeah.
So,
and especially, and I don't want to bring this up. I mean, I don't want to bring this up again, but you're fighting a younger guy. Most guys that you fight are going to be younger guys, and they have.
You just called me. You just said I'm an old man.
I'm not the first. It's on.
No, you're not
the on first. Like highlights of the year. Old man knocks out. No, it's but it says a lot to it says a lot to what you're accomplishing right now when people are calling you old, and the things you're accomplishing. I mean, you're fighting for the title, and people are saying, "Oh, he's older." You're the top. You're the top of the heap in Utah.
I think that if I had carried a bunch of old football injuries or something like that, it might be different. But I don't. I didn't. I mean, I played football, but it wasn't exactly my passion through high school, and I just never carried it on. It wasn't like I had banged up knees and neck issues and things like that. If that were the case, this might be different right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But what it's been is an evolution of self-discipline and learning about the things that work for my body and not. And I wouldn't have figured this out had it not been for fighting.
Yeah.
And I don't fight to. My main goal isn't the fight necessarily. It's the things I learn along the way.
Yeah.
Because when I'm 50 and I can't fight anymore, I'll still know the things I know now.
Yeah.
So, are the things that I learn as I go. So, and Munoz is older than me, so pick on him.
I do. Munoz is the grandpa.
Yeah.
You're the dad.
Okay.
I'm the creepy uncle. I'm the creepy uncle.
Amen. I'm glad you have this family tree. Family tree.
And everyone else is our kids. Everyone else are the young kids.
I think you're onto something.
Yeah. No, and anybody who does want to say, either one of you, anyone who wants to say you or Munoz are too old, I encourage them to step in the ring with you guys, because I can promise it doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, win, lose, or draw.
It doesn't feel like either of you are too old. You're not going to come out
feeling like you fought an elderly gentleman.
No,
you didn't fight an old man at a bar.
Yeah, you didn't punch an old man drinking whiskey, right?
I know. You hate my grade. I have to keep bringing it up.
So anybody who had, we probably better wrap this up. We're now at 10. We're 10 minutes over our last interview. So anybody who hasn't seen an Eric Iman fight before, we've spoken length about how you fight, but anybody who hasn't seen it before, what do they have to look forward to seeing? What do they have to look forward to seeing you fight?
A mature striking game. I think I'm to the point now where I can say I genuinely feel like I'm one of the better strikers in the state in any weight division. I don't go to the decision. I don't like it. I don't trust judges. I mean,
yeah, they don't have a great track record.
No, well, if I get taken down, he holds me down for 3.5 seconds and I get back up, he still gets the points, and I just got to put in some more work. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's negating it or anything like that. And it seems like even when I'm piecing somebody up, if they took me down twice in the round, they still won that round. I don't know. I mean,
very strange.
It's very biased. Yeah. So this isn't going to go to the decision. It's gonna be a good striking fight, I think, based on what I've seen from him, and I think that secondary he's gonna try to work some jiu-jitsu on me, because I know he's got some jiu-jitsu background. So, I come from a very good jiu-jitsu school, so we'll see who's put the right amount of effort into whatever they think. But I think that you're going to see a very fast-paced, especially for heavyweights, because cardio isn't an issue for me.
Yeah.
So I don't expect it to be for him. He's younger, so he's got better lungs. So I think that it's going to be a very fast-paced fight, and
then when heavyweights, fast-paced heavyweights,
it can end at any second.
Is a quick night. Is normally a quick night when you have fast-paced heavyweights, and it's usually a quick night.
Physics are a real thing.
Yeah, speed and power, speed and weight can do some damage.
Absolutely.
Again, we got to talk about Steelfist, as we always do, because if it wasn't for them, this fight wouldn't be happening. How do you enjoy the organization? We've already spoken about it, but just nail in the coffin.
They've always done right by me. I had a fight a little while ago where there was some weight issues and some things like that, and I've never had anything stupid happen. Kevin and Pat are very common sense guys.
Yeah.
They're not money cannot be their only motivation to do this, and I would guess at the end of the day there's not probably a whole bunch of money to take in. So I think they have a very good common sense approach, and they've genuinely tried to take care of me as far as, because I mean, one year I dinged them for 57 stitches in my face on their insurance, and my arm when it was broke.
Yeah.
And they've always reached out to me and made sure that things are good and that my head's in the right place. Like they care about me outside of just being,
a fighter,
the horse, the fast horse or whatever. I think they've always done right by me. I think they genuinely try to do right by the fighters.
Yeah, I agree. I've been putting it in my head, like, if I could ever get connections with some of the fighters in the top organizations like the UFC fighters, if I ever had connections there, I would like to do interviews with them about the horror stories of the good and the bad of coming up in local organizations, because I don't think a lot of Utah fighters, especially the ones who only have fought for Steelfist, understand how bad it can get.
Well, I mean, there was times that Fabio was fighting at other organizations, and we were warming up, in a bathroom.
Yeah.
Things like that. Or, back when they had the fights at Sandy Station, those guys had to go outside in the cold before they could walk down into the ring, and they were supposed to be warm, and just weird things like that. Where, think about the logistics of it, because you go in cold, you come out cold.
Yeah, and again, not only Steelfist, but I do have to speak good towards the Utah Commission. I feel like the Utah Commission is a great commission.
Scott's a stand-up guy.
When you and I had just traveled recently to corner a fighter, we were at the fights, and there were 2 commission members for each. One for each side, and then they had the fighters separated, downstairs and upstairs, and they had one guy to watch all of them. Right. And we had there's fighters that could go out in the stands, and you could have had a beer before your fight if you want that. And so, I do kind of want to try to put that together of interviewing people what it's like to come.
I definitely think the commission. I think Scott does a good job.
And so I want to talk because like I said, I just don't think enough. I do hear some fighters complain, from time to time, and I'm like, you guys don't know how good you have it here, especially fighting for Steelfist.
Yeah, I agree.
I usually ask, how you see yourself ending the fight. I think we've spoken again in length about that. Your striking is as you said, above and beyond. Top notch here, in any weight class, and so I think it would be safe to say you're looking to end this.
Everybody likes seeing knockout. Yeah. So let's try to make sure I put myself in the right position for that to happen.
All right. Do you have any sponsors?
Don't look stressed out.
We're ending it, I promise.
No, the thought of people getting knocked out makes her nervous.
Well, I was going to commend her because I'd never heard. I hear so many girlfriends and significant others say, I just hate watching them fight. I've never heard her say that.
No, she's she's the neck holding this head up around here, you know what I mean? She keeps the kids in line. My oldest 19-year-old son, she makes sure he's taken care of. She makes sure the little ones are taken care of. Laundry and dishes and diet, and she goes to the gym every day. I mean, it's a huge undertaking. So I can't say how much I appreciate her. And it'd be one thing if she was like, well, I'm going to help you, and she did all these things, and then if she was talking to some of her friends and she's like, this some bitch came home with sweaty clothes again, I gotta do 8 more loads of never once has she complained. She's very, very supportive. So and talking to as many fighters as I do, you have no idea how rare that is and how beneficial that is to him as a fighter. Yeah. There's a lot of stress when you feel like the person you love is not supporting you, or you're putting too much stress on them by what you're doing, where you feel the freedom to be able to
chase this.
Yeah.
Just chase this thing that you love. Do you have any sponsors?
I currently do not have any sponsors. Quest Bar would be great, but I could definitely use some, and I would like to rep some local companies. So if there are, I can put together some packages. If there is anybody that would like to sponsor me, we'll put their name on the shirt, social media, the whole thing, and buy some Knuckle Dusters gear.
There we go.
Because there will be a Knuckle Dusters booth at my fight. We're having some new stuff made, hats, hoodies, shirts, some really cool hooded thermals, joggers. We've got a whole line of stuff that we're coming out with. So visit the Knuckle Dusters booth, and that would be a great support.
There you go. Put money directly into your pocket.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, if you want to, I can wear some Knuckle Dusters stuff on here. If you want to throw some shirts my way, I can wear them on the podcast.
I usually give all the training partner shirts and stuff, so you got one coming. It's on its way.
Okay. I appreciate it.
The guys that are in there sweating with me every day, the least I could do is make sure they have a nice shirt.
Yeah, exactly. I always enjoy free stuff. I wear that shirt Brian Thomas gave me last time. I wear it all the time. It's in so many pictures, repping it with him. But anyways, man, I can't thank you enough. I can't wish you enough luck. It's hard, and I told Zach, I saw him at the weigh-ins, I said, all I want to see is a good fight. I train with Eric. He's my boy. He's a good friend of mine. I wish nothing but a good fight. I wish you nothing but the best. But, when it comes down to it, it's
hard to be unbiased when you're at the gym with somebody every day.
I've been punched enough times by you that if you don't win, it's upsetting.
Yeah, absolutely. I can tell you're going to get hit a bunch by me on Monday for calling me old.
Oh, I'm not coming Monday. Saints are playing. I won't be there Monday. It's a Monday night game.
I'll catch you.
You'll come get me. All right, everybody.
Thanks, Matt. I'm glad to be your first repeat. I appreciate you having me back.
It was a great interview. It's probably my longest yet, and it's because you're the repeat. We had more to talk about.
Yeah,
we have deeper relationships. Everybody, you can find us on YouTube, iTunes, the iHeartRadio app under Undefeated by Choice. You can find the Instagram page is Steelfist Fight. The Facebook page is Steelfist Fight Night. January 4th is the night. Everybody, if you know Eric, come buy tickets from Eric. If you like Eric, get a hold of him and buy tickets from Eric. It helps the fighter directly if you buy tickets from them. If you do not know him, or if you don't know anybody fighting on the card and can't get a hold of them, go to steelfistfight.com and buy your tickets there. Make sure you make it out. This is the last fight of the night, the heavyweight championship, on a absolutely stacked card with a ton of great fights. And the coup de grace is the fight of the night. Is the last fight of the night.
And that's a good point. If you don't know where to get tickets, if you message me on Facebook or Instagram, Silverback Muay Thai on Instagram, or just Eric Iman on Facebook, I will make sure you get tickets. If you don't like me and you want to see me get a black eye, buy a ticket from me. It's all good. I appreciate the support.
You guys have no idea how much it helps the fighter when you buy tickets directly from them. So make sure you're doing that. And again, if you can't, you know where to go. I got nothing else for you. Everybody, be good to yourself. Be good to each other. I love you.